A family shattered Sarah's Vanishing Act. It was a day that would forever change their lives, a day that began like any other but ended in heartbreak and confusion. The call came on a Tuesday, a day that seemed ordinary but would soon be etched in their memories as the day their world turned upside down. A cold, gray Tuesday that mirrored the dread seeping into their lives. Sarah was gone, vanished. The overcast sky seemed to reflect the heavy hearts of those who loved her, as if the world itself was mourning her absence. The police called it a runaway case, a young woman tired of her life. They believed she had simply left to start anew, but those who knew Sarah couldn't accept this explanation. But Emily, her younger sister, knew better. She knew Sarah wouldn't just leave without a word, without a trace. Emily could feel it in her bones that something was terribly wrong. Sarah wouldn't leave without a word, without a trace. Her room was untouched, her belongings still in place. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a void that nothing could fill. There was something more, something sinister lurking beneath the surface of her disappearance. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that someone, or something, was behind it all. The family was fractured, their world tilted on its axis. Arguments erupted, blame was cast, and the once close-knit family began to unravel under the strain of their grief and uncertainty. Their pain was a raw, open wound. Each day without Sarah was a reminder of their loss, a constant ache that never seemed to dull. They clung to each other, finding solace in their shared sorrow. Emily vowed to find her sister, to unravel the truth no matter the cost. She spent countless hours searching for clues, piecing together fragments of information in the hopes of finding a lead. Her determination was unwavering, fueled by love and the desperate need for answers. She talked to Sarah's friends, visited the places she used to go, and pored over old photos and memories, searching for anything that might point to where Sarah had gone or what had happened to her. Emily's search took her to places she had never been, both physically and emotionally. She marked locations on a map, followed leads that often led to dead ends, and spent many sleepless nights researching and reaching out to anyone who might have information. And then one day, she found a clue. It was small, almost insignificant, but it reignited her hope. She shared it with her family, and for the first time in a long while, they felt a glimmer of hope. The family came together, united in their determination to find Sarah. They supported each other, drawing strength from their shared goal. The search for Sarah became a beacon of hope, a way to heal their fractured hearts. Emily knew the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she was ready. She would not rest until she found her sister, until she brought Sarah back home. The sunrise in the background symbolized a new beginning, a promise of hope and determination. They held on to the happy memories, the moments of joy and laughter, and the hope that one day, Sarah would be back with them, filling the empty space in their hearts and their home. Emily walked down the street, her heart filled with determination and hope. Her family watched her with pride, knowing that no matter what, they would find Sarah and bring her back home. Emily's quest, the search for truth, begins. It was a journey she never anticipated, a path that would lead her into the depths of secrets and shadows. The room was dimly lit, the only light coming from the computer screen that illuminated her determined face. She knew that finding the truth about Sarah would not be easy, but she was prepared to face whatever came her way. Emily dove into Sarah's life. She meticulously examined every detail, every fragment of Sarah's past. The old photographs told stories of happier times, moments frozen in time that now seemed like distant memories. Each photo was a clue, a piece of the puzzle that Emily was determined to solve. She flipped through the photo album, her mind racing with questions and possibilities. She scoured her belongings, her laptop, her social media. Emily knew that in the digital age, secrets were often hidden in plain sight. She spent countless hours scrolling through Sarah's social media profiles, looking for any hint, any clue that could lead her to the truth. The late-night hours blurred together as she typed furiously on her laptop, her eyes scanning every post, every message, every photo, every message, a piece of the puzzle. Emily created a makeshift investigation board, pinning up photographs and messages, connecting the dots with strings and notes. It was a chaotic collage of Sarah's life, a visual representation of the mystery she was trying to unravel. Each piece of information brought her one step closer to the truth, but also deeper into the unknown. Days blurred into sleepless nights. Emily's determination was unwavering, but the toll on her body and mind was evident. She sat at her cluttered desk, surrounded by papers and notes, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. The clock showed the late-night hours, but Emily couldn't afford to rest. The search for truth consumed her every waking moment. The search led her to cryptic emails, mentions of a research project, a place called Nemesis. The emails were filled with jargon and references that Emily struggled to understand, but one name stood out: Nemesis. It was a place, a project, something that seemed to hold the key to Sarah's disappearance. The more Emily read, the more she felt a sense of foreboding. The name sent shivers down her spine. Nemesis sounded like something out of a nightmare, a whisper of something dark and dangerous. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the brink of discovering something far more sinister than she had ever imagined. Her heart raced as she realized the gravity of what she was uncovering. It sounded like something out of a nightmare, a whisper of something dark and dangerous. The more Emily delved into the mystery, the more she felt the presence of something lurking in the shadows. The eerie hallway and the shadowy figure in the dimly lit room were constant reminders of the danger she was facing. But Emily was not one to back down. Emily knew she had stumbled onto something significant, something that held the key to Sarah's disappearance. With a determined expression, she held a folder filled with classified documents. She was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that the truth was within her grasp. The search for truth had only just begun, and Emily was prepared to see it through to the end. Whispers of Nemesis, unveiling the project's sinister purpose. Nemesis. The more Emily dug, the more she uncovered. A clandestine research facility on the city's outskirts, shrouded in secrecy. Rumors of experimental technology, of mind-altering experiments. The pieces were starting to fit, forming a terrifying picture. The facility was abandoned, a ghost town of cold steel and shattered glass. But the air hung heavy with a sense of unease, of something deeply wrong. Emily could practically feel the echoes of suffering within those walls. The video feed, a glimpse into Sarah's nightmare. The screen flickered, casting an eerie glow across the dark room. The old CRT monitor buzzed with static, a haunting prelude to the horrors it was about to reveal. Deep within the facility's bowels, Emily discovered a hidden room. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and decay, the walls lined with rusted pipes and forgotten machinery. She had stumbled upon a place that seemed untouched by time, a relic of a sinister past. A single monitor flickered to life, revealing grainy footage. It was Sarah. The image was distorted, the colors washed out, but there was no mistaking her sister's face. Emily's heart raced as she leaned in closer, her breath fogging up the screen, but her eyes were vacant, her movements erratic. Sarah's once bright and lively eyes were now dull and lifeless, her body moving in a disjointed, almost mechanical manner. It was as if she was a puppet, controlled by unseen strings. She was trapped, lost in some kind of waking nightmare. The room around her was dark and oppressive, the shadows seeming to close in on her from all sides. Sarah's face twisted in a silent scream, her hands clawing at the air as if trying to escape an invisible prison. The footage showed her strapped to a chair, subjected to strange lights and sounds. The chair was old and worn, its leather straps cracked and brittle. Strange devices surrounded her, emitting a cacophony of beeps and whirs. The lights flashed in a rhythmic pattern, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Emily watched in horror as her sister, once vibrant and full of life, was systematically broken down, her mind invaded. Tears streamed down Emily's face as she watched the footage, her hands trembling. She could hardly recognize the person on the screen, the sister she had grown up with, now reduced to a shell of her former self. The video ended abruptly, leaving Emily with more questions than answers. The screen went dark, the room falling into an unsettling silence. Emily's mind raced with thoughts and fears. The image of her sister's vacant eyes burned into her memory. She knew she had to find out what had happened to Sarah, no matter the cost. The warehouse stood on the edge of town, a monolith of rusted metal and broken windows. This was it, the last known location of Project Nemesis. The air inside was thick with dust and the stench of decay. Emily could hear the echo of her own heartbeat in the oppressive silence. She ventured deeper, each step heavy with dread. The shadows seemed to twist and writhe, playing tricks on her eyes, or was it her mind starting to unravel? The door slammed shut behind her, the sound echoing through the vast, empty space. Panic surged through Emily, she was trapped. The air grew heavy, suffocating, the walls seemed to press in, closing in on her, stealing her breath. She pounded on the door, her cries for help swallowed by the silence. Desperation clawed at her throat. She was alone, at the mercy of whatever lurked within these walls. The room shifted, walls melting into swirling patterns of light and shadow. Emily stumbled, her senses overwhelmed. Was this real? Or had the experiment claimed her sanity too? The air crackled with energy, and voices whispered her name, taunting her, drawing her deeper into the labyrinth of her own mind. She was lost in a world of illusions where reality was fluid, ever-changing. The doctor's revelation, unveiling the twisted truth. A figure emerged from the shadows, his eyes gleaming with a disturbing intensity. Dr. Julian Frost, the mastermind behind Project Nemesis. He spoke of pushing the boundaries of the human mind, of unlocking its true potential. But his words were laced with madness, his eyes reflecting a terrifying obsession. He revealed his ultimate goal, to control the human mind, to bend it to his will. Sarah was just the beginning. Emily was to be his masterpiece. The price of truth. Emily's harrowing choice. Dr. Frost offered Emily a choice: submit to the experiment, become another one of his puppets, or fight back and face the consequences. The weight of her decision pressed down on her. Could she sacrifice her own mind to save herself? Or would she fight, knowing the terrible price she might have to pay? The line between right and wrong blurred, distorted by the experiment's insidious influence. A legacy of terror. The unending cycle of Nemesis. The facility became her battleground. Emily, armed with the truth and fueled by a desperate hope, fought back against the insidious grip of Project Nemesis. She had to break the cycle, end the experiment's reign of terror. But the lines between reality and illusion had become irrevocably blurred. Was she truly free, or was she trapped in an endless nightmare, a prisoner of her own mind? Conclusion: the enduring horror of the mind's prison, vanishing minds. The dark secrets of Project Nemesis is a chilling exploration of the fragility of the human psyche. It delves into the darkest corners of scientific ambition and the terrifying consequences of unchecked power. Emily's harrowing journey serves as a stark reminder that the most terrifying monsters are often born not in the shadows, but in the minds of men. And sometimes the most terrifying prison is the one we build for ourselves.